Okay, palm up to palm down, some drills, some examples. Sending this to a few people, but I'm just going to save this video so I can send it to a bunch. Sorry for the really old racket. I'm at home visiting my parents and didn't bring a racket. So, okay, palm up first is in this position. You can see my palm and the strings. If they go this way, now the strings are facing up. You can see in the back of my swing, anywhere through here. The more open it is, the worse. And the biggest thing is the tension on the shoulder, which is a problem for injury. You're putting a lot of extra stress and load on the different shoulder muscles. And then because of the tension on the shoulder, you actually can't rotate as far either. So you're getting less racket tracking distance and less racket speed. And then, of course, you lose the pronation because you're already coming up with the strings open instead of coming up and being able to pronate to the ball. So plenty of disadvantages, super common thing to have to be palm up because as a kid, you start like this often to get the ball in the court. And then as you want to hit it harder, if you go this way, and then you just have the palm always open. Whereas it's much less common for kids to learn the proper form because it's much more difficult to get the ball in the court. So very common problem. Some of the best players in the world have had it. The best example is Novak Djokovic, who was palm up in 2009, made the change in 2010. So he had already been number 3 in the world. And he was, you can look at old videos, he was like way palm up. Already won a Grand Slam, maybe 2 Grand Slams, and made the change. Had a really rough year in 2010 as he was making the change. And then 2011, of course, he had one of the best years in the history of the sport. And from then on, from 2011 on, he's been the best player in the world. So there's a lot of players who've made this change. A lot of very good players were or still are palm up. So, you're in good company if you're watching this video. Okay, but how to make the actual change? The number one thing is understanding what's happening with the racket going this way. So from here, the strings are facing down. Really what's happening is the elbow's going forward and the strings are just rotating, where the frame is rotating. This frame is following this frame this way, not the frames going, back at the same rate, right? This frame is following this frame. This frame's the leader and this frame's following it. So the strings stay on edge. And the easiest way to do that is just the elbow goes forward and let the racket rotate. So it's this motion as the elbow goes forward. Some drills to work on it. The best one is throwing rackets. So just go out in a field with an old racket and let it fly. Film yourself from behind. Make sure your throwing technique is correct. It usually is. Most people throw pretty well, especially with a racket, because you want to throw it end over end. The racket's going to fly this way, not this way, right? If it's going to fly further. And so you're going to be coming up on edge already instead of being open. So naturally, you're going to be more likely to be palm down. And also without a ball to try and hit, you're less likely to open the strings up. So go out, throw some rackets. Don't think you're serving. Just practice launching the racket and see in the video if it's good before you do 1,000 reps, just in case. But that's a great starting place. Throwing the racket, double check that it's correct. Then you can get on court and you can try and hit serves with the frame of the racket. So again, not trying to hit with the strings, which tells your brain, oh, I got to open up, because you want the racket to stay closed as long as possible and then pronate at the last second. Sorry, I'm a little high here. Pronate to flat, right? Not come up on the edge, or not come up with the strings, but come up with the edge and pronate. So if you try and serve with the edge of the racket, you're not trying to serve in the box. If you do it right, you would hit the frame of the racket and the ball would go like up and to the right at like a 45-degree angle over the fence. You're going to lose these balls if you hit it right. And that should be palm down this way. If you're struggling with that, you can even hit it on the wrong side of the racket. Do it slowly because it's pretty extreme, especially if you're not usually palm down. But if you try and hit the ball an actual serve with the wrong side of the racket, you will most certainly be very palm down. And then as you progress, you can go to the frame And what you want to do is get this motion like you're going to hit it on the wrong side or the frame or throw it. And then at the last second, you pronate to the strings. If you can do that, that should fix it. Obviously, you have to build a lot of myelin there, but those drills usually work well, along with lots of shadow reps. Once you get it shadowing, you can shadow all the time. You don't even need the racket. It's just this motion, right? Feeling the racket, feeling the hand go this way, staying loose with the palm. Don't let the palm go up this way. Don't let the wrist flat back like you would on a forehand, right? This is where you'd be a forehand. You don't want that on the serve. You want it the other way. So if you can get it with the shadow swing, you can shadow swing all day long. We had a player, Eric Wang, who made the change as quick as anyone I've ever seen. And he walked around all day long just doing this. What is that? Oh, Fritz and Diallo going to a 5th set. Wimbledon 2025. I don't know how long this video is going to last, but anyway, so the more reps you can get shadow swinging, just make sure you're doing it correct. I'll do a couple shadow swings from this angle. And this is exaggerated the palm down, right? There are other elements of this that aren't perfect, but it's going to go this way. So from this position, again, facing you, strings down, elbow's going to come forward, and the hand's just basically going to go this way. Another drill that you can do is just hold the racket between 2 fingers, your thumb and one of the other fingers, and let it be loose. And you should be able to, without squeezing the racket and manipulating it, you should be able to do a shadow serve like this. And you won't be able to be palm up here, because then the racket you would feel it go this way. So if I've got it, it's going this way, and you want it to stay that way, it'll be palm down. But once the racket goes this way, right, the string's kind of moving. I don't know how to describe it, but you'll feel it right away. If you try and go palm up, it'll pinch your fingers versus just letting it go through the fingers this way, right? And edge over edge versus moving this direction. Hopefully that helps. Let me know if you have any questions. Happy to talk more about this. Super common problem. I'm sure this video I'll be sending to a lot of different players over the years. So hopefully it's good, or if not, I'll make a new one. But good luck, and you got this. Keep believing.